where every Arizonan has the chance to thrive, and together we will make Arizona healthy again. So this is a landmark day for Arizona, and we are taking a step forward with legislation that will ban some of the most dangerous chemicals that are artificially placed into our children's school lunches. I will now turn it over to the bill's sponsor, House Representative Leo Biasucci, to discuss his important and landmark legislation.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. So I first want to start off thanking this man sitting next to me right here. You know, there was a moment in August where he and President Trump came together and said, we're going to do what's best for the country. We're going to do what's best for the health of our people. They didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. But he did because he loves this country too much. And I want you all to give him a round of applause for that moment. You know, it's funny, I like to share the story because it's a good one. And everybody here that's been to Europe, raise your hand, you've traveled to Europe. So you're going to relate to this story that I tell you about when I was in Europe this summer, and I'm eating pasta, I'm eating pizza every day, I'm having ice cream, yet I'm not gaining a pound, which is incredible. I feel great, and that's really what started this all off, because I asked myself, what is the difference? Why is it that I'm able to eat all these foods overseas, and yet when I come back to the States, if I had that kind of diet, I would be 300 pounds in a week? So I started to look at the ingredients. I went to the grocery store, I turned around the labels of cereals, of pastas, and all these ingredients, and you're seeing that you have red 40s, blue dyes, potassium bromate. All these chemicals that are in the United States are not in Europe. And so when I started to do a deep dive back in the States, I realized that all these ingredients are banned in Europe for a reason. You look at red 3, red 40, potassium bromate, they're causing cancer, they're causing attention deficit disorders, they're causing all these behavioral issues. And what really made me mad is when I look at the box of Kellogg's in Europe, of Fruit Loops. The same exact company that makes Fruit Loops in the United States has a different product in Europe. So in Europe, they've removed the red dyes. They've removed all these toxic ingredients, but yet here in the States, they're still poisoning our children. That is wrong. Yeah. And I'm proud to say today, with a vote of 28-0 in the Senate, HB 2164, which bans all of these toxic ingredients, has passed the Senate and the House and is on its way to the governor.
Representative Biasucci.
Yes.
I believe that the two bills are actually on the governor's desk as we speak.
There we go. So on the governor's desk, which is incredible. But I just want to talk about how this is an incredible moment in history. You know, we have people that have been talking about this for a very, very long time. You talk about, you know, the Dr. Amons, the Dr. Mercolas, the Callie Means, the food babes. So many people have been talking about the health of our children for so long, but it wasn't until Secretary Kennedy was able to get in the position that he's in with that biggest microphone that people finally listened. And here we are today, about to save every one of these children's lives in front of us by doing these bills.
Amen to that. It's so powerful.
And so I just want to say thank you to all my colleagues in the crowd, every single one of you here. You've supported me from day one. You've helped me from day one.
And that's what it's all about. It's really about saving our children. What can we do to save our children? And here we have in Arizona, they are taking the necessary steps to do what they can. Because I know we want to get away from government. I understand people who don't want to be involved in government. They want nothing to do with government. But this is how we're going to get things done. Right here in the legislative branch. This is why so many bad things get passed, because so many good people aren't involved. They can't be involved. We got 9-to-5 jobs. We got families. It's hard to stay involved. It's hard to stay in this game. So that's why it's at the very least, we need to make sure that we're voting for the right people, that we are finding people who have our best interests, and we vote for them. Because if we don't, then, and I never want to subscribe to the theory that, well, if you don't vote, then you don't get any say. I don't like that. I understand it, but I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I never have agreed with it, and I never will. But I mean, that's it. It's there's some truth to it. If we don't vote, if the good people don't vote, and only the bad people vote, only the crazies vote, guess what's going to get voted in? Guess what's going to get voted out? So it's another double-edged sword because we want to be involved, but at the same time, they want to make it so tough for us to be involved that we're fighting on so many different fronts, and we can only choose our battles. Keep our focus, I suppose.
The moment where I got pushback from the industry, you told me, don't give in, don't give up, do not bend the knee to their demands, do what's right. And I want to thank you all for doing that, because that gave me the courage to stand here today and say I did not change a single ingredient from this bill from the original version, and I couldn't have done that without your help.
Bravo.
So that being said, let me turn it over to the comedian. Rob Schneider, everybody.
It's a pleasure to be. This will be the last time that I'm the same height as these children in front of me. And I would like to.
You see, he's so small, they can't even get the camera right. But this guy is definitely a childhood. It's Adam Sandler guy, but he's done some great movies. Rob Schneider, but I like his views. I like his political views too, and he seems like he is really in this for the children. And he's going to give you his reasons why. He's got to switch those glasses. I hate the glasses with the big long frames there, but to each their own.
First, thank the Democrats in the state legislature here for joining the Republicans unanimously for doing what's best for our children. This is not partisan. This is people. These are our children. These are the most important, precious members of our society. This is our future. This is everything. Now, people have been saying that for decades. This is the first administration in my lifetime that's actually doing something about it. And it really is a testament to this great state that we can get together and do something that is 100% positive for everyone in this state. And I will say this, and the numbers are absolutely stunning. What's happening with our health in the United States is abject failure. We must make changes, and we're going to make changes for these precious people and these children here. And I won't speak long, but I will say that if we don't get a handle on our health, nothing else matters. And as has been said, and I think Secretary Kennedy said, you may have problems in your life, but if you have a health problem, that's the only problem you have. Mm-hmm. Now, it's going to help our kids learn. It's going to help, and we're working. I want to thank Representative Biasucci for bringing me along on this.
I just want to pause there for a
We're
second.
going to figure out a way to get these beautiful farm of fresh foods into the schools.
Yes, yeah, and that's awesome. But it's so true. Like when you have health problems, like everything else gets put on hold. Your life is put on hold. All of a sudden, life is different now. Now you have this health issue whether it's a chronic issue, something you have to deal with for your whole life. And so if you're put into this system, the pharmaceutical system, the medical system, where all you're doing is just taking that next pill, hoping that it's going to give you a few more days, there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way of thinking there, and not just thinking, but of what they are doing. We are being attacked. The parasites are attacking our bodies and creating tumors. And some of us will be stronger and some of us won't. And they want to say survival of the fittest. This goes back to population control. But these people that are gambling with our lives, creating these scenarios where we have to choose between a healthy lifestyle, a costly healthy lifestyle, maybe that some people can't even afford. They have to choose between that and just making sure that they have at least one meal, 2 meals. And you can see it. I know it's hard to see Rob Schneider's eyes here, but you can see it in their eyes. These meals that the kids are getting at the public school lunches, This may be the only hot meal they get that whole day. Maybe the only meal they get that whole day. Why wouldn't we do everything possible to make sure that it is a healthy meal, that it is the most healthiest meal? You have farmers, you have people that you can go in your backyard and grow things. There are creative ways, creative things that we can do. We don't need to rely on China to bring in food. We don't need to rely on GMOs, on clone food, pesticide food, on these massive things. There is probably a farm within just about every local school district. There are ways that within this country we can start thinking about it. Even if we say, okay, it's too big, we can't do it right now. Let's start brainstorming. Let's start thinking about it. You know, there's a local farmers market. There's a local farmer. Why can't we employ them to create the food or to help bring the food into these schools instead of outsourcing or whatever they are doing to make sure that our children are being given the best food possible? There's no reason why we can't do it. Cutting the waste, cutting the government waste, what RFK Jr. is doing throughout all of the health and human services, cutting that waste is only going to make incentives like this, like what Trump is trying to do with the tariffs, to give incentives to these countries who want to play ball. We need to put our country first. We need to stop with the globalization. The globalization is killing this country. It's not just killing this country, it's killing every country, not just ours. So I hope people will think about that. You play a little bit more.
These children so that they can have a chance, because a lot of kids, this will be their only meal of the day.
There you go.
Let's not have some processed, chemical laden thing that doesn't help them think, that may cause behavioral problems. Let's get them the best things, what they deserve. And I want to thank the parents in the room, because it's going to take the parents, it's going to take the educators, and we all want to do it. So it's 100% positive. So I want to thank everybody in the room for participating in this, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
And I'll just say, lastly, I want to say I've known Secretary Kennedy for over 30 years, and he is just a driven, honorable, loving person. And I will say that it is an honor to be your friend, and what you're doing and the sacrifice that you've made and how you've put yourself in this position, it's really inspiring for so many Americans. And the love that you feel from the people here is the love all over this nation, and how grateful we are to you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well said, Rob. Very well said. So with that, it is my great honor to welcome a man whose name is synonymous with courage, conviction, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Mr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the U.S. Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Sir, we thank you for standing here today with us, sitting as it may be, but standing shoulder to shoulder with us in this fight. The movement that you've created, that we're able to, as you work from the top down, meet you from the ground up. Arizona is eternally indebted to you for your service. So with that, would you please make a few remarks? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And,
So no, Eric is joining us here, and hopefully he can jump in, and we'll kind of go through this. And this is about a 39-minute clip. I've tasked Eric with making sure I don't go more than 90 to maybe 2 hours at the max here, but hopefully we'll go a little shorter than that here. So I'm going to say that here, and then hopefully that will keep me to it. But we hear, I don't know about you, Eric, but I hear so much, and I don't pay attention to the mainstream news. I'm going to take a guess and say that you really don't either, but we still hear it. It pops up here and there. And we hear everything that RFK Jr. is bad. He's going to ruin HHS. He's going to ruin vaccine. He's going to ruin FDA. But then when we see him in front of a camera and we see him in situations like this, he hasn't said one word yet, and they're already clapping for him. They already appreciate what he's been doing. He's been here less than 80 days. We are only 80 days into the President Trump second, I would say third term, but you can call it a second term. But we're only 80 days in here. And look at all of these things that are happening. Now, you've obviously been watching this, been watching everything that has happened here. How do you feel Trump is doing, and how do you feel RFK Jr. is doing in these first 80 days?
Doing everything we voted for them to do, in my opinion.
Is there anything you wish they would do more? Anything that you wish they would kind of chill
Uh,
out on?
9/11,
9/11. Me too.
geoengineering, but the usual stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the Congress is they do have a team, the same team that released the JFK documents. They have been tasked with releasing RFK senior documents. They've been tasked with releasing the Martin Luther King documents, and they do include September 11th stuff in there too. So I'm hoping that we're going to have a Richard Gage type of investigation. I want a scientific investigation. We can debate if the Jews did it, or if the Arabs did it, or if the aliens did it, or whoever did it. But if we just have the scientific discussion, the scientific debates, there is absolutely no way that people will be able to argue with things that you've been saying, that we've been saying for years. And I mean years. And this includes, how do these two towers fall in this manner when a plane hits it, whether you believe a plane hit it or not, even if a plane did hit it. And I believe a plane did hit it, but I'm not sure that it was the planes they say that hit it, but let's say that it was. Even that, there's no way, scientifically, physics, there's no way that that could have brought down those towers the way that the towers fell down. Maybe 2 days later or something like that, but within 50 minutes, less than 60 minutes, and then you have building 7 that falls down that same way. We have footage of whatever hit the Pentagon. Now we have a good FBI director in there, and we have Dan Bongino there. We have all the right people in the right place, I would say, to get the job done, to at least get a real investigation. It's crazy that the 9/11 Commission does not even mention Building 7. No mention of it. How is that even possible? How do you not mention Building 7 in that? And it's just so many of those variables. And I don't care that Trump was Larry Silverstein's friend. He makes that clear that he was Larry Silverstein's friend. I mean, friends, whatever. Trump's got all types of friends. He's got friends that have turned their back on him. He's got friends that all of a sudden created lawsuits and tried to put him in jail. There's some friends that turn on a dime. But when you find out who your real friends are, pretty quickly sometimes, and in some cases, as you know, Eric, sometimes you think you got co-hosts, you think you got friends, you think you got people that are right here doing exactly what we are. You think they're your friends until one day there's something changes, a flip of a switch. But if those people are out there doing crazy things, does that make you a bad person? Should people still associate you with those crazy people who have turned against you too? I wouldn't say so, but I went way off topic there. Way off.
Well, I mean, you're talking about your average everyday F-tard, bro. That to get into the mind of them that's a scary place to be.
It is. It is. I don't know if you heard any of what Rob Schneider was saying, and
Yeah.
we know Rob Schneider from from the movies and everything, but he's absolutely right. He has kids there, and they don't want their kids having these eating all of this bad food. When Barack Obama's wife, and I'll still call her his wife because
I'll
there's
call her
no
Big Mike myself.
what do you
You call her
call
whatever
her?
you want.
Okay. I have not seen
Big Mike,
any
yeah.
evidence. I have not seen any evidence that
Oh, I've seen a lot.
I haven't seen enough to convince me. Let me put it like that, to convince me that she is a man or anything like that. But she was she was a big part of trying to put healthy stuff back into our kids' food, into these school systems. But it's all talk. And like they were saying, it's been all talk. Yeah, they come in and they talk a big game. Here we have less than 90 days, less than 100 days, and RFK Jr. is actually doing something. He's gone now to at least 2, 3 states that are making changes specifically into the kids' school lunches. And they have vowed that they are doing it. Not only that, they've passed legislation, like that congressman said, or the senator said, it was 27-28 to nothing. And the bill is on the governor's desk here. How is it possible that for years and years and years, nobody could get this done? RFK Jr. comes in there, he is in there less than 80 days, and boom, this